We've all seen the scenes rioting throughout the country, but the White House, really wild scenes at times in front of the White House. I know you spent a lot of time there. Have you been in on the inside while any of this was going on, and what's that like?
Yes, I had a trip recently to the White House before the SpaceX, launch. But, it's all hands on deck there. There's a very measured, composed attitude and demeanor and very focused on what's going on. The president obviously is, deeply distressed and disturbed by the violence, the rioters, while still trying to obviously honor the memory of George Floyd. And he has been really adamant and steadfast in his desire and his focus to achieve justice for George Floyd. And I think, it's heart-wrenching what happened to him. Everybody agrees about that. And the president denounces any kind of violence or any kind of police brutality or excessive use of force. But at the same time, what happens there, that does not represent all officers. I probably served as a prosecutor and was very, very honored to work with the men and women in blue. And they really fight so hard every day. And we've seen, look at the juxtaposition. They're out putting their lives on the line every single day. When they leave the house in the morning, they don't know if they could return at night because of the violence and the unrest. And so I think President Trump has done a good job of trying to address, all sides of the issue. Meanwhile, someone should wake up Sleepy Joe from his nap, and he needs to properly denounce the violence and the riots and the looting of what's going on here, because it is unacceptable. It is not okay to go to the Gucci store or to Louis Vuitton and pretend that you are honoring the name of George Floyd and his family when you're looting and stealing to sell something on the streets. I know this. I dealt with this for years, working as a prosecutor in Los Angeles and San Francisco. And there's a way to do this peacefully and civilly to honor the members of his family and the life that was lost and send a message to society in general. And we stand with the people that fight against injustice and the loss of life. But there's a right way to do it. And the president is trying to keep America safe. He's trying to work, with the governors and with elected officials. And it's sad. I was in New York City yesterday to see what's happened there. I mean, it is really heartbreaking and heart-wrenching to see. And what about the people who have built businesses trying to live their American dream?
Well,
okay. What about them?
Well,
what about Captain David Dorn, who lost his life trying to defend his neighborhood and protect the people there, shot dead? What about the, a Vegas police officer? What about in Missouri? People slain in the streets. It's sad to see what's going on, and this doesn't represent the best of America.
So, Kimberly, about the businesses that are shut down, a lot of minority-owned businesses. I have not seen this publicly, but I've heard rumblings that the campaign and that Donald Trump actually are directing money to some of these minority-owned businesses that have been destroyed, particularly in Minneapolis.
That's
Is that happening?
Yes, and then in particular, while you see, the Biden staffers donating to bail out rioters and people that are looting and committing crimes against individual, assault crimes, et cetera, you see our campaign actually contributing to rebuild a business like KB's business, a firefighter that was living his American dream, that opened the bar of his dream, trying to make a living for his family. And now we have the GoFundMe page that's been created, and all the Trump campaign staffers donating to try to rebuild his broken and shattered dreams. That's the best of America coming together, regardless of race, regardless of your socioeconomic background. That is the vision and the beauty of this country as we stand united, not divided.
By the way, the president went to St. John's Church right across from the White House. I thought it was pretty cool. It seemed appropriate to me. He held up a Bible in front of that church. And I still don't understand this. So much of the left-leaning media, even some faith leaders who apparently lean left as well, objected to his holding up the Bible the way he did. Now, by the way, I hope we have this picture handy. Did you know that Bill Clinton went to the same church and held up a Bible in almost the exact same manner, held up a Bible, and it was not a problem back then? What do you make of the reaction here?
I'll tell you this. The Bible and the Word of God belongs to all of us. It shouldn't be used in a partisan fashion to try to divide the country. It should be sacrosanct. God bless the president for standing up as a man of faith to go there and pay respects. My God, who could even do that, to desecrate and try to destroy a house of worship? Are we in the Middle East right now? Is this ISIS? What is going on? And I applaud the president for having the courage to take the steps to walk by faith, not by sight, straight there, bold and unafraid, and to stand in front of this church, this house of worship, and to show that he stands with the country. That is leadership. That is a commander-in-chief. That is the person that we want in the White House and in the Oval on November 3rd and the morning after this election, because the country deserves it. Not someone who's asleep at the wheel, who hasn't even denounced the violence and the riots that's going on. That's Joe Biden. That's Joe Biden, and that's not America.
Hey, very strong, Kimberly, but I got to break it to you, and you may not like this news. I'm hearing from all kinds of people that it's not going to be Joe Biden, that the high authorities in the Democratic Party realize they got a big problem with this guy, that he can't make it past the finish line. It's unthinkable how he would perform in a debate, and they may make a switch.
Good for them. It doesn't matter who they run against President Trump, because America is going to reelect this president. He is a man of vision. He is a man of unity and courage and resolve to make the tough decisions. He has the stomach and wherewithal to see us through and across the finish line. He is going to rebuild this country. He is going to put 40 million Americans back to work. So it doesn't matter who they run. They can throw all the Hail Mary passes they want. They're going to end up with a loss in the end zone. Wait and see. It's going to happen on November 3rd.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing news channel, now in 65 million homes. Get Newsmax TV on all the major cable systems, or go to newsmaxtv.com and click on the Find Newsmax tab to locate us. Remember, Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.